Hello and welcome to the Work at Home Career Summit, brought to you by American writers and artists. This seminar is entitled Work at Home as a Resume Writer. My name is Julien Sharp, and I'll be presenting today. I'm a member of AWAI's Board of Advisors for their resume writing program. I've been working with resumes for a long time, doing everything from writing them to screening and evaluating them. I got my start in the human resources world with a major pharmaceutical company, where I screened hundreds of resumes every week. Through that job, I developed an understanding of the secrets behind a successful resume and what makes one resume stand out over all the others. So I launched my own resume consulting business, and I've spent the better part of 2 decades helping people land jobs and launch careers. Here's some of the things we're going to go over today. I do want to talk about why resume writing is the easiest writing career that you can do from home. We'll talk about some benefits to running a resume writing business, or basically the benefits for a home-based business. Some average fee structures you can expect when you're first pricing out what you're going to charge, qualifications you may need, and other services you can offer in addition to writing resumes. Are you satisfied with your job today? If you're like nearly 45 million Americans, the answer is no. This is interesting. More than half of an 80 million strong American workforce at any given time are looking to change their career, go for a raise, or take on a better job. There's other millions of people who are unemployed, or they're looking for work, or they're looking to break into the workforce for the very first time. This is almost 50 million people, and what do they have in common? Whether they're looking to change jobs, get a job. They all have to have an effective professional resume. That is a lot of potential clients. We've been finally hearing some good news after many years of scary employment numbers that the outlook for hiring in 2011 has jumped to a 12-year high. That means professional resume writers will be in demand more than ever. However, I do want to make sure to say that resume writing is good in any job market. It's basically a recession-proof profession, because when the job market is low, a lot of people, instead of trying to find a job, they will go and get better skills, more competitive skills, by going to school or taking courses. They need to have an updated resume to show those courses when they look for their job eventually. And of course, as we've discussed, if the hiring is brisk, all those people looking for work are going to need a resume as well. One of the things I can't stress enough, and have been living for several years, is as a home-based writer, are the advantages of a home-based business. We have several of them right here. In general, you have a very high income potential. Really low startup and ongoing expenses, so it doesn't cost much to start, especially a resume writing business, as we'll talk about later. You have the freedom to design your own workspace. It doesn't matter if you want to work on the floor or you want to work in a chair or lay on the couch or stay in bed. It doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you, you design your own workspace. You're also able to set your own fees. You're able to set your own hours. You have control over your entire schedule. Along with that, there's no need to report to a boss or a supervisor. No chance of getting fired or being denied a raise that you deserve. For resume writing in particular, it's a very short learning curve, as we'll discuss. And as we've already covered, there's a constant high demand for your services, whether the job market's brisk or whether it's slow. You also have the status of being a recognized professional, the opportunity to be creative and exercise control over a project. You get to meet and work with people from all walks of life. This is one of my favorite benefits of working from home. You have the freedom to move to a different part of the country and take your business with you. My significant other's job has taken us from Miami, Florida, to Baltimore, to New York City, and now to Denver. And I haven't changed my business once. I didn't have to go quit one job and look for another. I've done the same thing through all 4 cities and have continued to grow my business without worrying about having a break or again, losing my career momentum. There's great potential to grow your business because you're in control. You can take a vacation whenever you want or take time off work when your family needs are pressing. You never have to miss your kids' school plays or sporting events because you have a job to do for someone else. No commuting, that's another biggie. As I sit in Denver right now in the middle of winter, I'm looking out my window at a really, really heavy snowstorm. I don't have to drive in that. You get the freedom to dress as you choose most days. And really, the ability to work online means that you could have virtual clients from all over the world. That's a lot of advantages. The odds are in your favor if you choose to write resumes for a living because most people hate writing their own resumes, and not very many people are in the field with enough expertise to do it and who really enjoy writing them. Again, as we mentioned, most people prefer not to write their own resume. They'd much rather leave it in the hands of a professional than take the chance of writing a resume that might sabotage their chances of landing a job. Studies have also shown that people in interviews are more confident and therefore more likely to get the job when a professional has prepared their resume. That's why selling people a professionally prepared resume is really, really easy. People who understand how competitive the job market is don't need convincing at all. And as I mentioned earlier, experts in this field, those who really, really enjoy writing resumes, are in the minority. So this is a really good place to be if you're going to look for clients. And also, myself and every resume writer I've ever met are quite happy with their jobs. I mean, how many other jobs offer you the chance to earn a steady income, full or part-time, from the comfort of your own home? I can also tell you this, if you're motivated, you could grow your business into a 6-figure income. So now I'd like to answer a question. You might know what a resume is, but you might be wondering, what exactly does a resume writer do? Well, in a nutshell, a professional resume writer is someone who will take all of a person's work experience and put it into a highly marketable, we'll call it a brochure, that he or she can present to potential employers. A resume, a well-written resume, is a marketing piece, and a professional resume writer will be able to strategize their clients' professional backgrounds, volunteer experience, education, and anything else that they've done, and be able to put it into that highly marketable piece that will promote them and, most importantly, help them stand out from the competition. This is true. As I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, I spent a long time in HR and human resources looking at resumes. Most human resource or hiring managers have less than 10 seconds per resume to decide if an applicant is going to move to the next round. It's your job to write resumes that clearly demonstrate what the employer is looking for. So basically, you can tell people you spend your days helping people escape from dead-end careers or jobs that don't fulfill their dreams or ambitions. You, as a resume writer, provide a truly valuable service that has an impact on every aspect of your clients' lives. It's a service that your clients will be grateful for. You're truly providing a service that people really need. I'll tell you this, countless professionals in human resources, hiring managers, and other professional recruiters say the same thing. Most of the resumes that come across their desks or into the applicant management systems in their computers are weak. And those weak resumes nearly always lead to failure to get hired. These poor candidates with the weak resumes jump from opportunity to opportunity, one ad to one ad, career fair to career fair. They post that weak resume all over every job board on the internet, and they get no results. They simply don't know what it takes to put together a resume that gets results. And that is what you can provide. Here's the question I know you've been wondering. How much money can you realistically make as a professional resume writer? As I mentioned earlier, the answer is a lot. There's some things to think about though when you're pricing. First of all, the geographic area. You can charge a lot more probably on the East or West Coast than you can in the Midwest. The type of resume you're offering or you're writing for someone. First of all, a resume for someone right out of college isn't going to be that detailed. You show their education experience, maybe some of their part time jobs or volunteer work. There's not a lot that you're going to have to do compared, say, to an executive who has 20 years of experience and countless board experience sitting on the boards or volunteer experience, different things like that, philanthropic activities. Um, and that's a much more involved resume, and you can charge a lot more for that. Also, you want to consider the number of products ordered. We'll talk more about the different things you can offer besides resume writing, but you may offer package deals if they order one or more products from you. The best thing to do is to look at in your area what the competition charges. That's the quickest way to do it. If you're going to have an internet based business, do a little research and see what the market will bear. The minimum price, I will tell you, for a professionally written resume is $100. You should expect to charge and make $100 on an entry level, simple resume, or maybe you'll charge a little less in the beginning as you learn what you're doing. My minimum, though, after so many years of writing, for an entry level, short one page resume for someone with not much experience is $375. That's the minimum I charge now, but it only goes up from there. My main market now, in fact, is the executive resume, and those prices can range all the way into the thousands depending on what that executive needs from me. It just depends. You find your niche and decide what kind of products you're going to be selling. Here's some information for you to keep in mind. It takes, I would say, for a new resume writer, it's going to take about 2 to 2.5 hours per resume to complete it. Can take a little more, but on average, that's what you should expect, especially for some of the shorter resumes. These are more for the average resume of a mid-level on down sort of candidate. That includes time to speak with the client, using any information that you get, analyzing any old resumes they have. So if you think about how long it might take, in fact, if you're brand new at it, maybe you'll want to take about 3 hours. How many do you want to do in a day? How many do you want to do in a week? So you have to think about that. You could do 3 to 4 resumes in a single day. It's really dependent on how many hours you want to work. So say if you'd want to average 10 resumes a week at 250 each, you've got a pretty good income right there. You can double the amount. Like say, for example, if you want to take a week off, you could work double the week before or the week after and still make your same average. It's up to you. You really do control how much you make by how many resumes you want to do. Because again, the clients are out there. It's really up to you to decide how many that you can possibly handle. There's a couple of ways you can increase your profit margin. Obviously, reducing the amount of time it takes you to make a resume. And on this more simple or basic resumes, you can get very, very quick at those. You can also, as your business grows, you may be in such demand that you're going to have to hire or contract other writers to write for you. You pay them a set fee, you charge the client a little bit more, you're making a markup on every single resume that they do. As I mentioned earlier, you can earn a salary equal to the highest paid professionals without having to spend years at college or investing a fortune. There's really not a lot of things you have to do to get started, and we'll certainly discuss that during this seminar. So, mentioning the qualifications, what do you really need to break into this market and become a professional resume writer? Well, first, maybe we should talk about the things that you don't need. You don't need a college degree. You don't need any special certifications. And you really don't need any professional training. Here's what you need. You need to have a real interest in people. You definitely need to love the idea of entrepreneurship, and it does help if you have a little bit of business savvy. Let's talk about the interest in people. See, the better you are at putting yourself in the shoes of the person hiring, in the employer's shoes, the better resumes you'll write. Employers have to sift through, as I've mentioned earlier, nearly hundreds of resumes, even thousands of resumes for a single job, and you want your clients to be the one that they remember. Every resume needs to be directed toward the employer's needs because that's what they're going to respond to. So you need to approach every resume you write as if it were the most important task in the world. Do the best job you can, not only because of the money that you'll earn on that job, but because the more successful your clients become, the more they'll recommend you to their friends, and the more often they're going to come back to you when they need an updated resume or they may need some of the other career related services that you can offer. This is really what will make your business grow. The faster your business grows, the sooner you'll reach your goal of having a highly successful home business that gives you more money and free time than you ever thought possible. See, again, it isn't really coming down to a college degree or special certifications. You can do this. We've been talking about ways to increase your business by offering other services. As I said earlier, it is about much more than just resumes when you think about career services. First of all, any resume that gets sent out, whether it's by email or snail mail, also should have a cover letter. It's really important, so that should accompany the resume. A list of references. When the candidate goes to the interview, they should take that with them. Some of the interviewees may be requested to take a salary history. They'll also certainly, after an interview, want to send a thank you or a follow-up letter. All of those are paper items, or they can be paper items, that should look and feel the same. They should be in the same format, as professional looking as possible, and be very consistent. And that's the same whether they are printed on paper or whether they're sent electronically. Speaking of electronically, they look a little bit different, these resumes, when they are in electronic format that needs to be scanned into a company's applicant tracking software, or into monster.com, or into any jobs.com or other internet site. You can also provide that for an extra fee. You can also offer a complete job search package. You can help them find leads. You can help them be introduced to certain employers. You can develop relationships with them. As you stay in the resume writing and employment services business, you'd be surprised at the people you'll meet. And you can offer this, bundle it up, package it up, and offer that for a fee to your clients. So here's some additional services you can offer. In addition to the ones we just mentioned, you could also prepare, package, and sell mailing lists of recruiters or potential employers. Some people are just not able to do that. You could offer that for them. You could also offer executive job lead reports. Again, the more time you spend in the career and HR industry, the more accessible that information will be to you. Some executives would really appreciate if you saw certain movers and shakers and things that are happening in the executive world. Passive and active web campaigns are another thing that a lot of my colleagues and I are offering, and this can be very, very lucrative. Passive web campaigns could be simply just helping them put up their resume on the web, maybe helping them build a career-based website for themselves. You could be more active and help them post their resumes at different job boards. That's very active. Targeted direct mail campaigns. Some people are maybe employed and they don't have time to do it, or maybe they're working a part-time job they don't really like, but it takes a lot of their time, and they want you to take over this part. You can do that for a fee. Most of you realize that social media is huge now, and quite a few people are looking for jobs on the internet, and quite a few recruiters are using social media sites to find good candidates. You can help take a resume and put it into a LinkedIn or a Plaxo profile for your clients. All of these are great additional fees that you can make and add to your business. So, as I mentioned, the clients seem to just come to you, and that's true, but I know you're wondering, how do you really find clients? How easy is it to find all of these millions of people who have a need of a resume every single year? Well, obviously, you've heard of the Yellow Pages. They have them still in print, but they also have them online. These ads are great. Sometimes people, the first thing they think of sometimes is the Yellow Pages, and so you want to have a presence there. You can also do newspaper ads. You don't need to take out an ad in a very expensive, maybe main newspaper of a city, but small towns, municipalities, and local neighborhoods have very affordable classified ads, either in print or in their online editions of their paper, and you can put your resume ad in there. And don't forget the value of social media to advertise your services. You could build a Facebook page that talks about what you do. Of course, you'll want to be on LinkedIn yourself, and you may even want to have a Twitter feed that talks about different resume tips to keep you top of mind with people who use the internet for those sorts of things. Other great ways to find clients. First of all, I cannot stress enough the value of networking. Networking can include networking groups, leads groups. It can also include your family, your church, your friends, clubs, different clubs you belong to. Chamber or civic groups, you can give talks to them, make yourself established as an expert. Colleges, a great way to start out is with students who are graduating or looking for on or off campus work. Employment offices at colleges often do not offer resume writing services, and many times they will be happy to refer to a very good resume writer in their area. We mentioned churches earlier, but don't forget about parent-teacher associations. A lot of moms get their kids to a certain age group or a certain grade level, and they're going to need to return to work or want to return to work, and they'll definitely need a resume. I've seen a lot of resume writers take a booth at a job fair. That's a great way to get new clients. They're walking around looking for jobs. They may not have a good resume, and you're right there. I contract with many different recruiting firms and employment agencies. Again, most of them may offer a resume critique, but they don't often offer resume writing services. They farm those resumes out to me. Basically, the list is endless. The main thing is to realize that once you've written a good resume for one person, the chances are that they will know somebody, and likely many somebodies, who will eventually need resume services. For example, I had, in my early career of writing resumes, I had someone I knew through a recruiting agency send me a person. I wrote their resume. She got a job and she was happy. She eventually came back and had me rewrite her resume as she gained more work experience. Several years later, she called me and said, I've got my sister who needs a job. That sister, I wrote a resume for her. She ended up referring me to 5 of her friends. And then my original client came back and referred me her son and daughter who had just graduated from college and needed a resume. From one resume, I did at least 20 different resumes. So you have to think about that as well. It's a great way to get clients is from satisfied former clients. So, what do you need to get started in this business? It's not a lot. You definitely need a computer. You can have a laptop, a desktop, but I do think that as you're starting out your business, a laptop is great because it gives you the flexibility to take it with you. Definitely need internet access and email. I would recommend that you set up a professional sounding email address. If you want to stick with Google in the beginning and use Gmail, you could be Julien resume writer at gmail.com. But eventually you may want to think about getting your own dedicated web domain that you can use for your email. You need a printer. Definitely need a good printer and some good paper because some of your clients are still going to want those resumes, cover letters, reference sheets printed out for them, and you need to be able to offer that service. The printers are very inexpensive these days, so you can get a good printer without spending a lot of money. Absolutely need business cards. And as I mentioned earlier, you may want to get your own domain name, like julianswebservices.com, and your own website so that people can find you, your own social media accounts, and you should have some flyers that you can leave at recruiting offices with your business card and also at college employment services. I'd like to share a personal experience with you. I don't spend, at this time in my career as a resume writer, a single penny on advertising my resume business. Yet I get calls from more than 15 people every single week. Almost all of my business is based on referrals from past clients. And why is that? Well, I don't just put my clients' skills and employment histories on paper. I put this information together in a way that the client actually feels more professional. The confidence in their skills gives them an added boost that gets them the interview, and usually the job, and it makes them refer me to their friends, their colleagues, and their family members who may need a resume. Here's what a client recently wrote after she landed her dream job, and it remains in one of my most treasured possessions today. She said, "It's quite interesting, actually, the hope that I had after reading my resume. You've helped me see myself in a new light. I just wasn't seeing myself as this versatile administrative professional. Thank you so much. You know what's happened as a result of that letter? Not only is it a feel good piece that I hang on to, she has personally referred to me over 25 people, and I've written resumes and cover letters for all of them. Now, this is how I've been after nearly 2 decades of writing resumes. This is where I've gotten to. But you can get the same results also because AWAI has a course that's called the Quick and Easy Resume Writers Course. You can work your way through this course at your own pace, and by the time you're done, you'll have mastered a skill that can bring you a professional income for the rest of your career. The AWAI program comes in 3 parts. The first part is how to write a resume that gets results. This includes what I believe is the single most important tool a resume writer can have, and it's one that I use in each and every resume I write to this day, and that is the exclusive client questionnaire. You use that questionnaire to get the information that's going to allow you to portray your clients in the best light possible. The next part of the course is a complete guide to marketing your new business. This includes sample ads that you can use to get clients right away. Finally, there's a step-by-step guide to starting and running your own business. And this time we've included a bonus, successful techniques to help expand your business. You can complete the entire program in about 6 hours if you plug along, but you can also do it at your own pace. Truly, by the time you start doing this course, you'll realize how much in control you are, and that control even extends to how long it takes you to do this program. Once you've written and gotten paid for one resume, though, you will have paid for the entire course. I'd like to share with you some testimonials from different people who have used and have benefited from this course to start and launch their own resume writing businesses. AWAI member Lisa G. says that the resume writing program is great. She thinks the templates take away much of the guesswork when it comes to formatting. She has more than enough work because everyone needs a job and they need a resume to get that job. And we agree. Lynn Wiley said that her new resume business brought in a lot of cash quickly and easily, and it was cash that her family really needed. And this is an important part. It was so easy to begin, she was able to earn money right away. And better yet, her resume business took just a few hours a week, which brought her cash, but it allowed her to also continue working toward her goal of becoming a highly paid copywriter. A lot of people start out as resume writers to earn money right away while they continue to hone their skills and build their businesses as a copywriter. I'd like to thank you so much for your time during this seminar, and I hope that I've shown you through personal experience and through some examples of how easy it is and how wonderful it is to take control of your life, work from home, and how you can do that as a professional resume writer. It's a very easy link. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit myresumebiz.com/work at home.